2, 1. We have to clap. We have to clap and sing.
Why though?
No, because that's all
Wait,
the
do you
podcast
start the
do.
video?
Yeah, it's not even started. It's right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't in sync, but it's fine. Mr. West's Basement, the podcast where we talk about random Euro stuff. Today we're talking about World War I, and we're joined by Sidhu, Rishi, and myself. Okay, Rishi, do you want to get started with the causes for World War I?
Well, of course. So there are a few different reasons why World War I started, but in my opinion, the biggest reason was because of all the alliances that were there. There was the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance. The Triple Entente consisted of Britain, France, and Russia, and the Triple Alliance consisted of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy.
I actually think the main cause of World War I was the assassination of Archduke France, as it was the immediate cause of the war. And without it, the war would have never started and led to all these alliances being formed and ultimately starting World War I.
Was that the good
I just stopped in the background. You're gonna die. You're Archduke first, man.
I'm not shocked.
Alright, perfect.
Okay, another large cause of World War I was the whole theory of nationalism. Of course, nationalism at this time just meant like a group of people which represented a core group of ideas, and this paired with the alliance system just created a lot of turmoil within Europe and caused the war.
Well, I mean, 'cause this is just what we're talking about. But there's literally like one exact reason why the war started. My dog, Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke of Austria-Hungary. So Serbia just like kind of I mean, they were always like, they were like kind of nationalists. They just wanted their own, like nation state. They were revolutionizing. And then when they killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand, I'm pretty sure Austria-Hungary, they didn't have like the power to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they just declared war on Serbia. And then, like I mentioned before, because of the alliances, everyone else started declaring war on each other. Like Russia declared war on Serbia as well. And then Germany got involved and declared war on Russia and France because France was going to be involved. And that's really how like the whole World War got started.
Also, certain countries were like more inclined to join the war for like imperialistic like purposes because they wanted to take other countries' territories so they could like own more resources. So they're more inclined to join alliances.
You said incline, and that's something useful.
Another thing to note is the fact that the fact that Austria-Hungary, they were kind of in the right for starting the war because their leader kind of got assassinated, but they still lost the war.
Yeah, they lost. They're the villains. Sure.
And they even got split apart in the end,
villains.
right?
They're villains. Alright, let's look at some of the stuff that like actually happened during the war now. One of the newest things for me, like I feel like this whole World War would not have been as big if it weren't for the technology. There was like machine guns, mustard gas, and because of all that stuff, I think that's what sparked like the total war. That's what sparked like the trench warfares and all that stuff. What do y'all think about that?
I also think that was the reason that the war was so damn costly on everyone. Like in the end, I think Germany lost like millions of dollars. Every other country also lost millions. Even the ones that won, they lost so much money because they were pouring it into growing their militaries because of the new technology.
Yeah, trench warfare, they would be at war for weeks, but they would only move like 5 feet because you couldn't really, if you pressed up, everyone would die.
We'll put a picture of trench war, what the trenches look like on the screen right now. And really another main reason, like what I was trying to hint at was like with the trench warfare is like because of the technology, because they just had like machine guns. Like if you were just going straight up like how they used to do a war, like back in the Civil War, we used to like have a standoff.
Yeah.
One team gets a shot, then the other team gets a shot. You're just all dead, bro. The first team that shoots is done. So they just like dug massive trenches. They stayed there for a long time. This would cause like massive stalemates between the wars as well, which was like also like partially the reason why the war was so costly because they had to produce so much food. That's another reason why the total war was there. Like so like what's different between this war and like all the other wars before is like everyone was involved in this war. Even if the people supported the war or not. Like for example in Russia, they weren't even a big fan of the war, but like they still everybody had to produce a lot of like food for the people to eat in the war, and just like everything had to go work for these like countries to fight properly.
I mean,
I struggled to say that sentence.
I mean, even the women at this time became more and more involved in terms of like those areas because the men had to go out to war at the time, and so the women who generally stayed at home had to work in the factories in order to produce weapons, in order to produce food, just like Rishi stated earlier.
Women's History Month.
Women's History. Oh, is it actually?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh man.
So are we a fan of World War I or not?
Are we a fan of World War One?
World War One or World War Two? What's your favorite World War?
Okay, World War Two.
Mm.
More people died.
No, World War One because Wonder Woman happened in World
Wonder
War
Woman
One.
did happen in World War One.
Okay, but another thing we should probably talk about is the Armenian genocide. So this was something that also happened in during World War One, and it was pretty big. So basically, like Russia was traveling in the general direction of the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottomans were getting scared that like the Armenians would revolt because like the Armenians, if they were able to fight the Turks, Russia would probably like help them revolt and do that. So literally, because they were scared of that happening, like pretty sure the Ottomans just like slaughtered like 1 million Armenians. So that's always nice.
Yeah.
Massive slaughter. What are your thoughts, Sanu?
No thoughts.
No thoughts.
We're gonna think of a much bigger slaughter in the next World War, but
Okay.
okay. Should we talk about the end of the war then?
Yeah. So like it started with the conference that happened.
Mhm.
Forgetting what was the name.
The Paris Peace.
Yeah, the Paris Peace Conference. This is when like it was pretty like much decided by all the battles and stuff that like the team of like Russia, the British and the France and like America got involved in that team as well. They won, so they were gonna like decide the punishment for the Central Powers in this alliance, and that's where we got the Treaty of Versailles. You want to talk about the Treaty of Versailles, Sidhu?
Yes, the Treaty of Versailles placed complete blame of the war on Germany, so they have to pay out billions of dollars in debt. And that caused like their economy to be in shambles, and they weren't able to recover after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to a system where the U.S. had to loan money to Germany so they could pay their debts off to the rest of Europe, so then they could pay their debt back to the U.S. So that was interesting.
It's not smart. It's not smart. I mean, there's more than just money too. Like I'm pretty sure there's like other.
Militaristically, the Germany just like fell apart at this point. I think their army was limited to like 100,000 people, and they just didn't have a navy when it was all said and done. And on top of that, do you want to talk about the whole coal and iron just being stolen at this point?
No.
No? It's on the dock.
It's on the dock. It was just taken. Just know that. It was just taken.
But yeah, this also led to like fascism coming up. We'll talk about that in 2 episodes from now, I believe.
One next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah, next episode.
Okay, next episode we'll talk about like the rise of
So
fascism.
World War One W? Is that what we're thinking? W World War One?
I don't know.
You need a
about
W to spell World War One.
I don't know about that.
Thank you for tuning in to Mr. West's basement, and we'll catch you on the next episode.